Sadly, the United Nations too often fails to live up to the noble principles of its charter. We have politics, and in this case, petrodollars that supersede principles.
In what way petrodollars? Explain a bit more about how that is involved.
Saudi Arabia wields enormous influence at the United Nations, not because of its moral strength, but because it has one of the largest reserves of oil in the world, and it has billions of dollars of sovereign wealth funds, and it uses its wealth to influence countries, to make trades. And the reason that the world's worst violator of women's rights in the world has been chosen by the United Nations to sit on its Women's Rights Commission, a commission that is supposed to empower women and to promote gender equality, is strictly because Saudi Arabia has oil and it has billions of dollars, and countries make trades, secret trades behind closed doors in order to vote such dictatorships onto human rights bodies.
Could this perhaps be seen as an attempt to encourage Saudi Arabia to bolster women's rights at home, to give it some kind of motivation to do so?
No, absolutely not. That was not the reason why it was done. There are some who work inside the UN who are embarrassed by this decision and seek to justify it with that argument. The fact is that Saudi Arabia has been a member of bodies such as the UN Human Rights Council for a decade. It has not improved their record at all. Regimes seek membership on world human rights bodies for three reasons. Number one, to sit around the table when decisions are made, so you can be sure that Saudi Arabia will not be spotlighted by this UN Women's Rights Commission. Second, it's to give themselves a false badge of international legitimacy, just as the Saudi ambassador in Canada 2 years ago, when he about his human rights record, he said, well, we're sitting on the UN Human Rights Council, so the world thinks we have a very good human rights record. And third, finally, it's because human rights activists sitting in prison, like Raif Badawi, a blogger who's sitting in Saudi prison for the crime of calling for democracy, it's to demoralize them. Or Manal al-Sharif, the woman who was arrested for driving a car. Imagine how she feels when she sees the headline that her oppressor, Saudi Arabia, has just been chosen by the United Nations to have a position of influence on women's rights. It's a kick in the stomach. Those are the reasons, and the only reasons, why Saudi Arabia has pursued this absurd, paradoxical membership.